What's up, everyone? Kevin Oak here. I know it's been a while. I apologize. I haven't been posting a lot of videos. Things have just been very hectic since the last meet. Training's been like, how can I say it? It's just been all over the place. I'm usually kind of hesitant to make videos where I'm talking a lot and shit because I feel like people are more so just about the action and don't really want to like hear lifters' thoughts and all that. But I was like, fucking, I'll make a video kind of going over the US Open leading up and what my strategy was, why my strategy was what it was, kind of just like going through what my mindset was. Maybe some people will be interested in that. So, you'd basically have to start 5 weeks out when I did the squat only, right? So, or we should probably actually go back to like December. Let's start in like December, right? Or November. Sorry. Let's start in November, right? November, I was dealing with bad quad tendonitis, right? Um, I did a deadlift only meet. I had bad quad tendonitis going back to like before Boss of Bosses, right? So that's going back to like, it probably started like right before Boss of Bosses. Definitely affecting me at Boss of Bosses. I didn't realize yet that that was the issue, but after Boss of Bosses, realized I had quad tendonitis. Kept pushing through, kept training hard. I was squatting all the way up until I don't even remember when now. I know I couldn't squat heavy, so for the November RPS comp, I decided to do deadlift only instead of doing like full meet, right? And when I was pulling, I had to pull with knee reps on my knees, if you guys remember back then, because that's the only way I can pull without like my knees being in excruciating pain, right? So I do the deadlift only in November. I pull 820, which was a PR. That's an all-time training and competition PR, right? So it's great I did on the platform. Cool. After that, I finally take a step back. I'm like, I gotta handle this knee issue, right? So I take, it was like 6 weeks off, I think, from squatting completely, right? Take a step back, start doing a lot of stuff for my quad tendonitis with my physical therapist, David Joe, which you guys all probably see on my Instagram. I'm always working with him, right? I have to get my quad. So at that point, for the end of November, most of December, I couldn't even squat. That's how bad things were, right? By the end of like the last week in December, beginning of January, I was finally able to squat with very little to no pain. Things were on the up, right? I started training. Obviously, it felt like I pretty much deloaded most of December. I was kind of just leaning out, doing other shit, having fun, right? Um, January comes around. I did the smart thing where I just listened to my body instead of trying to like force, like, oh, this is when I want to do this and blah, blah, blah. It was like, what's my body saying? My body was like, yo, you're ready for meat prep. I could tell. So I was like, all right, let me pick a meat. I originally picked a meat in March, but then things started happening. We had the barbell commission launch. I could tell I wasn't like staying on top of what I needed to do with the quad tendonitis completely. I could tell things kind of didn't start right. So I was like, you know what? Push it back and let me restart my meat prep so I can restart it nice and fresh and healthy, right? Do that. Cool. Everything's going great during this meat prep. You guys saw I was hitting huge squat PRs. I did develop an issue with my AC joint in my shoulder because I was gonna do full meet for the April meet and go for the 242 squat in total for raw no knee reps, right? So I had to make a decision. I was like, I really need to stop deadlifting for a while because that's what was killing my AC joint the most. It didn't feel great on bench press, but I can push through, right? I was like, you know what? Let me do squat only for this April meet, which doesn't affect my shoulder. Then I can take off about, I basically took off about 6 weeks from deadlifting completely to try to let my AC joint heal as much as I possibly could. And so I can get away from bench press and not go as heavy on like incline pressing and stuff. Basically, I was trying to deload or give my AC joint the best chance possible to heal while I was pushing my squat because my squat wasn't really affecting my shoulder. So it went fine, obviously, right? Fast forward, April 7th, go to the USPA meet, do squat only. I break the world record, break it on the second attempt, broke it fine. I probably could have went up. 848 was really my goal for that meet. I think it was probably like 85% chance I hit it, just on that day specifically with how I felt. And the 832 looked great to me. I was like, fuck it, that's a great looking world record, honestly. I did what I set out to do. I broke the world record. Um, US Open is the real me, and I'm worried about, kind of. So I was like, take the 832, walk away. You're healthy, body feels good, right? So that was a Saturday. I come in Monday, I'm like, all right, I gotta start deadlifting again, right? Because I took like 5, 6 weeks off from deadlifting. Cool. Um, Once I started deadlifting again, my AC joint didn't feel much better than it did before. So I was like, fuck, this is the problem, right? It was better, but it wasn't much better. And based on the first session I did where I pulled like 740 for a double or a triple or something, which I could have done more, but I was just going off of like trying to keep pain low and just kind of gauge where the strength is at and do the minimal I could. Basically, the plan was I was just going to deadlift every 2 weeks or so. Um, Based off of how my shoulder felt and how it was progressing, and I was 5 weeks out, I was like, the most I could probably bench with it is like 530. The most I could probably deadlift with it is like 800. Now, at 100%, I would think I'm probably better for more like an 830 deadlift and a 550 bench. And that would be if my body weight was more like 260 ish, right? So here's where my strategy for US Open comes, because I'm like, all right, I gotta make some decisions, right? And basically, I could have stayed up around like 250, 255, but I was like, there's no point in me being that heavy if I can't bench and deadlift the numbers that would come with that body weight because of my AC joint, right? So I was like, you know what? Let me diet down and try to just weigh in at a lower body weight, right? Because at that point I was probably weighing like 248. So I was like, let me diet down to like 240, try to weigh in more like 225 ish, right? Because I could probably still bench 530 and pull 800 at that lighter body weight anyway. So there's really no reason to come in much heavier and do those same numbers because really I was limited by my AC joint, not the size of my muscles, right? So that's where the strategy with cutting weight came into play. I knew it would affect my squat, but I was like, it's worth taking that hit on my squat, which obviously in hindsight, my squat ended up being way worse than I would have thought. I thought it'd be good for more like 880, like potentially, at a lighter body weight. So I was like, all right, if I weigh in like 225 basically, squat like 880 ish, bench 530, and pull like 800, my wilks would be up over like 600, right? So to me, the goal for the US Open obviously is to try to get one of the top 3 spots. That's for me. I can't speak for other people and what their goals are, right? Everyone has different goals. For me, it's like I want one of the top 3 spots. To me, it's either top 3 spots or it's a loss nonetheless. Like, I'm not showing up. I wouldn't be happy if I got fifth. Like, to me, fifth place, 15th place, 30th place, bomb out, honestly, they're all the same to me for this meet specifically because the top 3 places get money, right? I mean, I know I could break world records, basically, is what I'm trying to say. I can go to other meets and break world records. This meet isn't about breaking world records, it's about trying to get top 3. So I was trying to set myself up the best possible way or give myself the best chance to get top 3, right? It's basically the way I see it. If Yuri's competing, I figured he'd be up near like 620, 630-ish Wilks, right? And this is based on information before the meet. I'll talk about like how the actual meet went and how that kind of changes things, but basically I'm like Yuri will be like 620, 630. Last year he won with a 599 Wilks. I'm like, he's not gonna do that again. He's gonna go at least like 620-ish. He's not gonna have that shitty a performance. And also that was before he was doing hook grip and things like that. So I'm like, he's gonna be pulling way more than he did last year, right? So I'm like, I'm not getting first. Point blank, I literally don't have the numbers in me to go like a 620 Wilks. It's just not there. So whatever. But I'm like, the next 2 spots are open. Now last year, like I said, the winning Wilks was 599. So to me, based on like everybody's training, right, and this is everyone in the 220s all the way up through super heavyweight, right? Based on everyone's training, I'm like, yeah, a ton of guys look like they potentially could hit 600 plus Wilks. But I'm like, a lot of people are going to fuck up. So I was like, it doesn't even make sense to start trying to look at every individual person and trying to figure out what they're gonna hit, blah blah blah. I'm like, the likelihood of the next two people both being substantially over 600 is very unlikely. That's kind of how I saw it. To me, I'm like, if I get over 600, I'm more than likely will be top three. That's how I figured it. I'm like, I know how it looks numbers wise for everybody, but I'm like, a ton of us are gonna fuck up. So my goal is to get over 600, preferably over 605. I'm like, if I get 605, I truly doubt I will be outside the top three, right? So based on the numbers I thought I could hit, I knew the body weight I needed to weigh in at to try to get like a 605 ish would be 225 or lower. So to me, I was like, I need to weigh in at 225 or lower. I'm not gonna weigh in at 242 and try to have a good meet, but my Wilks would be under 600. It doesn't make any sense, right? Because I'm sure a lot of people would think the logical thing is, oh, Kevin should have just went in as a 242, try to go 8 for 9 or something, blah blah blah. But it doesn't matter. Me at 242, my best Wilks would have been like 595 or something like that, probably, because that's just what I can do at my body weight and where my numbers were at that time. So it doesn't make any sense because obviously, like I said before, I'm not showing up like voluntarily trying to get like fifth or sixth place. Like not at this meet, right? Maybe other meets that make sense, but if there's 40 grand on the line, it's like you're gonna aim to try to make money, point blank. Like you're not gonna aim to like go 9 for 9 and try to get like seventh place. Like I'm just for this meet, I'm just not gonna do that. Like I never will. Point blank, it just doesn't make any sense. Like it makes no to me. It makes no sense to do that. If there's 40 grand on the line or 10 grand or whatever, if there's money for the top three spots, every single time I'm gonna do what it seems like I need to do to try to get one of those top three spots. And if I don't get one of those top three spots, I'm gonna look at it like I don't really care. Not that I don't really care, but I'm gonna look at it like outside the top three, everything is the same. It's all lost the same to me, right? Everybody's different. To me, all the same, it's all lost. If it was different, I wouldn't turn around and want to be like, I wouldn't have wanted to show up at 242 and get like fifth place. Like, I still would have felt pretty much the same. Only way I would have felt worse is if I got injured, right? Other than that, anything outside of top three, it's all the same. So that's kind of where my mindset was going into this meet. Also, in general, after the last meet, I was just beat up. And I knew that that might have happened doing a meet 5 weeks before. Like there's not it's not like an emotional thing. It's like numbers and it's logic. I knew if I tried to do a meet 5 weeks after being peaked, a lot of issues can come up and it might not go well. I went for it anyway, right? So nothing was really surprising. I mean, I didn't think I'd miss like an 830 squat knee reps. That was that was definitely a surprise. Don't get me wrong, but not doing extremely well at this meet wasn't a surprise because I knew if I was doing a meet 5 weeks after another meet, pretty much everything would have to go perfect in training for things to still go well on the platform, and nothing went perfect in training. So it was just like it was a crapshoot, and it's like I'm not gonna pull out. Basically, I feel like a lot of people in my situation would have just pulled out the meet, but I wasn't gonna do that. I'm not even gonna go over. I mean, a lot of shit was going wrong. I'm not even gonna like list the things that was going wrong. It really doesn't matter. Shit goes wrong for everyone, first of all. And I'm just gonna say, training just wasn't going well. You guys probably saw my Instagram. If you follow me enough, like you see how my good training cycles go. And if you saw how this training cycle went, they look very different. So I guess that's kind of a wrap up. I think that kind of explained it, even though I'm all over the place. But wanted to kind of make a video explaining why and I guess what my strategy was to have a chance to possibly position in the top three at the U.S. Open and why I made the decisions that I did. I guess to quickly explain what kind of happened, I mean, I dieted down from 248 to like 238. I did a water cut from 238. I weighed in at 220 and a half. I weighed in at like 100.1 kg. I had to weigh in over 100 kg to stay in the 110s to still be eligible to win money. So I did that. Normally, if I was cutting that much weight, I would do an IV. I did an IV this time because the guy that usually does it for me couldn't go. So that alone made it extremely risky. Although the cut felt fine, in all honesty, but training just didn't go well. Like I did a 727 squat a week out that I had to like grind. I had like a hamstring tendon strain that like when I was trying to do knee wraps, I couldn't do knee wraps, and then I was able to do them last minute. Like it was a fucking mess. Whatever. It's in the past. Honestly, going forward now, the goal. I'm about to go do my first session. It's a Friday. Um, the goal right now is to feel better. My body feels burnt out, right? Especially my joints. Not really my muscles. It's my joints. So I need to work on some joint stability stuff. I need to deload my body. I need my body to like feel fresh. I need to feel like I have pep in my step again, which is probably gonna take like 3 to 4 weeks. After that, if I feel fresh, I'll try to get back into meet prep. Um, if I can, I'll try to compete end of August. If not, I'll probably compete like October, November. But I'm not gonna make that decision until I fully deload and I'm feeling good, you know? So yeah, that's where I am right now. A lot of cool stuff coming. I'm probably gonna run a coaching special next week, like a 12-week, probably like a 12-week summer coaching special. We'll see. I'll post it. Also, we're gonna have a huge barbell commission launch, ton of new colors, including this one, with the compression shorts and t-shirts. You guys are gonna fucking love the colors, I think. But we'll be able to post more stuff about that over the next week. We'll be doing the launch next Saturday. So yeah. Other than that, I'm gonna try to post a lot more again, talk more, and let you guys see what I'm actually doing. Sorry I didn't post that much over the last month. Like I said, shit was just all over the place. Training was like a fucking disaster. So there wasn't really anything like good to post anyway. It was just so all over the place and shit. I was trying to just keep it together for this meet. So yeah, that's it. Till next time.